We all have needs. It is a part of being human. But when those needs go unmet, something deeper happens. We don't just feel sad. We get stuck. We get looped in survival mode. We get trapped in shame, fear, lack, proving cycles, forcing. We can even make ourselves sick. That is what our bodies respond to when we are in that state of dis-ease. And the truth is that most of us, individually and collectively, are really living in our lower chakras. Survival, connection, proving. But we are not meant to stay there, particularly in this new amazing 5D energetic upgrade. It is all about expansion, understanding who we are at a much higher level, really leaning into our own level of self-awareness so we can become, attract, and expand. And that is what we are going to be talking about today. Welcome to Infinite You, beautiful souls. I am Dr. Sheri, spiritual psychologist, multidimensional mindset mentor, and soul-led success coach. And on this channel, I help you align with soul, free your mind, and step into your multidimensional nature of who you are so you can really attract whatever it is you want to see manifest in your life, to be, to do, to have, and to experience yourself fully, to create meaning, purpose, passion, and fulfillment. So welcome. And if this video resonates with you, I would love a subscribe. I would love a like, definitely comment, and hit that notification bell so you will know every time I release a new video, usually every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. So today I want to talk to you about Maslow's hierarchy of needs at the lower level of that pyramid and align it with the energy of chakras. So I want to talk a little bit about psychology, definitely a little bit about energy, and put it together for you in a way that really makes sense, in a very cool, powerful way that you can use right away. So we all, if we've taken a psychology class, and even if we haven't, we're pretty much well aware of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So that bottom level of that pyramid is all about what we need in terms of our safety, in terms of food, in terms of having shelter, right? That base need. And energetically and in our chakra systems, I think that this aligns perfectly with the root chakra, right? This grounding physical chakra in our physical reality that helps us feel safe and secure and fed. It is just a basic need, that root chakra. And then Maslow's next level hierarchy is really all about our emotional needs and the relationships that we have with one another. And that is akin to and aligned with our sacral chakra, which is, the root is right at the base of the spine. The sacral chakra is just below the abdomen. And this is really all about connection, creativity, intimacy. And then we have the solar plexus. So in Maslow's hierarchy, this is really about independence and self-esteem and self-worth. And the solar plexus aligns with that beautifully as well, where the solar plexus is really fiery, confidence, identity, your willpower, your self-esteem. And so when these basic needs are not met for us as humans, and it is completely akin and aligned with what is happening in our program, what basic needs were met for us as children and which ones are not. So energetically, it's affecting our chakra system, and psychologically, it's definitely affecting our subconscious mind, how we grow and develop, how we form an identity, how we relate to one another, how we make choices, make decisions, engage in certain behaviors. It really shapes the way that we have a healthy relationship with ourselves, with our bodies, and definitely with one another and in relationship with one another. And so the first three levels, definitely, whether I'm talking about Maslow, whether I'm talking about chakras, this is where most people are spending their lives surviving, searching for love, trying to prove their worth, making sure that they don't feel lack, making sure that they have security. And it just doesn't have to be that way. But before I talk more about how to, move into a space of alignment and feeling really balanced within, I just want to talk a little bit about, the imbalance of these energy chakras, right? It's definitely ancient wisdom for sure. Chakra is a word that comes from the Sanskrit word for wheel, right? So we have these electromagnetic energy bodies in us, and they are definitely measurable with science. So it is ancient wisdom, and it is definitely, science-based as well. So what do we do? What do we do when our root chakra is not in balance? And we can either have, too much of that energy going on, or definitely not enough. The root chakra tends to be in a space of feeling lack, feeling not safe, feeling not secure. And usually in that space, we're grasping for control. So that may be a behavior or a part of your programming, or some part of you where you are feeling lack, where there's never enough, where you don't feel safe. And that sacral chakra is really a wound that has to do with not feeling connected, not feeling intimacy, not feeling love, not feeling like you have people who have shown you love or shown you affection. And in that space, you can overcompensate by, going to that extreme end of like over-seeking, of over-pleasure, of just staying in like creative kind of out there mode, but not being grounded in anything that is a little bit more structured. This is the space of, looking for affection when we don't have proper boundaries, or where we overindulge in anything. It could be social media, alcohol, drugs, sex, any of those things. This is all an imbalance in the sacral chakra. We're not getting our emotional needs met. And the thing about it is that until you lean into a new level of self-awareness and understanding where this is coming from, you're not just going to stay stuck. You're going to stay in making choices and engaging in behaviors that are not reflective of your beautiful, high frequency, amazing soul and your potential. And the thing about it is that when we stay in that space of, and even if we did it when we were younger and overindulging and not having boundaries and, staying in that space of like looking for love in all the wrong places, then we can feel a level of shame and guilt. So it's really about programming, hierarchy of needs, whether they're met or not, and the energetic effect of it in our chakra system. And it can also lead to health issues in the body. So it's all connected, the energy, the psychology, and your physical body, and then the frequency that you are carrying in the world, in your day-to-day life, and what you are attracting as a result. So it's really this like integrated picture of psychology, energy, the science behind it, the energetic aspect of who you are, and what you are attracting more into your world. That's why self-awareness, being intentional, paying attention to who you are and who you want to be really matter. And that third chakra is the solar plexus, located in the center of your chest, just below your rib cage, right? And your solar plexus, like I mentioned, is really about your confidence, your level of self-esteem. At the high end of like being, over, like having too much overcompensation, it is high self-esteem, fiery, being in control, having that narcissistic tendency, or swinging between that and then apathy of like, what's the point? I don't really feel good about who I am in the world. Who am I? I don't have the confidence to do that, right? So what we really always want to do every day, every other day, just be intentional about paying attention to the energy in your body, right? Like, are you feeling lack in your root? Are you not feeling safe in your root chakra? Do you feel disconnected in your sacral chakra? Are you not spending any time being creative? Are you overindulging? And then your solar plexus, do you feel like a healthy level of confidence and that beautiful feeling of self-worth? So self-esteem is really like, oh, I feel great, but it's not really based or grounded in anything, where self-worth, is that bigger picture of, you feel good, you feel worthy, you have a right to be here, to create, to express yourself, to, live your life, and to, attract more of what you want with a beautiful, level of soul-fueled confidence, and then that psychological confidence and that fiery confidence that comes from the solar plexus. But like I said, with imbalance, we definitely create cycles in our lives and addictions and toxic patterns that definitely come from the lower chakras. And it can become difficult when those lower chakras are blocked energetically and you're engaging in behaviors taking you out of the higher frequency of who you are at the soul level. It really is hard to attract more of what you want. So it's really important to just be aware, pay attention. You know who you are on a spiritual level. We always know, I say this in nearly every video, our soul is always nonplussed to what the heck is going on in this three-dimensional reality and what's happening in our 4D mind. So I just want you to know that you can create balance without overcompensating or not having enough of something. Your power is grounded, it is generous, it is steady. You don't have to prove anything. You only need to answer to soul and to God, and to God's frequency, to God's mind, however you define that energy. Your solar plexus is your power center. But it really matters to be aligned with love in your heart, the truth that you're communicating with your throat chakra, the vision you hold in your third eye, and the wisdom that is coming from your crown. Remember, energy rises from the root, through the sacral chakra, through the solar plexus, through the heart, into the throat, into the third eye, and into the crown. And the thing about it is that it is in flux all the time. So I remember really feeling like I wanted to do a little work on my root chakra. I just didn't feel safe. It definitely came from a part of what was going on in my childhood. But the more I leaned in and worked on my root, I realized that what was happening was that I was creating blocks in my heart chakra. And so once I kind of worked that out, or the energy of really bad decision making that we make that comes from our intimacy, in our sacral chakra, right? So, lack of boundaries or overcompensating or overindulging or whatever the case may be, they create a psychological response and a frequency response. Shame and guilt have a frequency. And many of us definitely can live in that space, and then we're attracting from that space. So remember that this is really a journey of self-awareness, self-love, spiritual responsibility to lead to that tippy top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is self-actualization, what I call self-realization, just to put more of a spiritual spin on it. So here is the transformation for you. Healing your root is all about creating safety within. Remember, this is an inner game. Healing your sacral chakra is all about authentic connection with yourself and with others, and paying very close attention to things like boundaries. And definitely, I'm going to make another video about this. It kind of is out of the scope of what I'm talking about today, but like really beginning to understand how you can release guilt and shame and not feel burdened by those lower frequency vibrations going on inside of you. You don't have to, mea culpa yourself, 1,000 times a day or anything like that. It's just really about leaning in, forgiving yourself, and releasing, and know that each and every day you can just choose to be a higher expression of yourself, a more aligned expression of yourself. And then, of course, healing the solar plexus is really about empowered action without force. And feeling like you don't have to put on the dog for anyone, right? You don't have to wear a mask. You get to be your authentic self. But remember that when the lower chakras are balanced, the higher ones will naturally open up. Your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, they will all expand. And that is when alignment begins to feel effortless. That is when you really, truly do step into flow. So my question for you today is, where do you notice any imbalance right now? Are you in survival mode? Are you searching for connection? Are you having issues with boundaries, telling people no? Are you overindulging in any way, shape, or form? Are you addicted to something? Are you overcompensating your self-worth? Do you feel crappy most of the time? Or are you beginning to rise into love, into truth, into vision? You only have one entity to answer for, and that is the essence of who you are and your God. That is it. So drop your answer in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe, hit like, hit that notification bell. I'm going to put some goodies in the description box below for my free newsletter, my free webinar, Recode Your Reality. And I'm having a special sale until the end of September. And I think I might be running out of time for this, but I will put the link in the description box to connect with me for an abundance session, and we can, really begin to talk about all this stuff: your vibration, your frequency, your amazing multidimensional mindset, your alignment with soul, with self, your vision, whatever it is you want to create, where you think you might be stuck. And I am super duper intuitive, and I can definitely help you work through that energetically. So remember that imbalance is just an invitation to return to flow. Imbalance is just an invitation to return to the essence of who you are, to return home to yourself. You are not broken, you are becoming. And when you rise from survival and scatteredness and addiction and feeling like you are not enough, when you get into that space of alignment, you step into your true power. I will see you all next time. Namaste.